This is Autoline Extra, available exclusively on the internet. Here again is John McElroy.
I'm here with Chris Martin from Honda Public Relations, and what is this place? What do you call it?
Well, we don't really have an official name for it, but we refer to it sometimes as the Honda Museum, the Honda Private Collection. And what this really represents is a collection of significant cars that we've sold here in the United States. American Honda sold cars, and some motorcycles as well. We've got race cars, we've got lots of great stuff, and if you want to take a look, we can walk around.
Yeah, well, I got my eye on one in particular right here, because this is, some people might remember this, the N600, the first car Honda ever sold in America?
First car that Honda sold in America. So yes, this was the introduction of automobiles. We were a motorcycle company here since 1959, and we have an example of that bike up there. But first car that we brought to the U.S. was the N600.
Unbelievable. So now, and you've captured all different kinds of vehicles through the years that Honda sold in the U.S.
Right. So we have some significant vehicles here, including this right here is the first example of the CVCC engine being used in a vehicle. That was the first engine that actually met the stricter emission standards of the day without using a catalytic converter. So quite a technological hurdle that we challenged with that car and overcame it.
Very appropriate museum piece.
We've got classic Accords. The Accord began production in the United States in 1982. This is an 85 actually behind us, but same general generation. But Accords, got a Del Sol. This is a vehicle that produced for a short period of time, but still has a really enthusiastic following in the United States.
I remember the car well. And what is this? I mean, it looks like some sort of storefront building.
It is. This is actually representative, and not an exact replica, but representative of the American Honda's first corporate headquarters here in Los Angeles on Pico Boulevard. So when we first came, it was rather meager beginnings. I think it was a furniture store, an old furniture store.
What a contrast to the massive corporate complex that you've got right now.
Exactly, and that's part of the reason for having this here is to kind of remind us where we came from. You know, that things can start small, and if you dream big, you can have what you want.
And of course, Honda has always been so tied into racing, and here you've got a whole collection of different Champ cars.
Yes, so we've got Champ cars of multiple generations here. Back when the kart series, we were still participant in that. We don't have any Indy cars here yet, but I'm sure we will in the near future. We've got cut engines as well, various Indy engines here. Some of these are labeled actually Indy engines. So
you guys actually went out and bought these race cars?
Yes. So former executive vice president Tom Elliott, he's now retired from the company. He's really one of the founders of this collection, and he was instrumental in collecting all of these race cars and many of the production cars that you see here on the floor too.
One of my favorites here, Acura NSX.
Yes.
I love this vehicle.
Mine too.
And what I loved about it so much is, as I'm fond of saying, even my mother could drive this car, and yet you can take this on a track, and this is a mean machine.
Indeed, it's a vehicle that starts up every day, and sports car owners of that age, when this came out in the early 90s, they weren't expectant of their car actually being reliable. So this kind of set a whole new bar for exotic level performance sports cars.
And motorcycles up on top here.
Motorcycles up top. We can walk up there. There are definitely some historical bikes up there that a lot of people would recognize. We do have an example of the first motorcycle product that we sold in the United States, which is the Cub.
Yeah.
So we have a Cub up there. We've got down here. We've got some race cars, non-Indy or kart league race cars. These are more grassroots level race cars, including Comtech cars, real-time racing. This little Civic over here actually was raced by a Honda associate in SCCA classes, and it actually was a national championship car for many years. So it doesn't look like much as it stands right there, but it was quite a competitor during its day.
In its day, it must have really been something.
Yes.
Well, this is a great overview of this place, Chris, and it's just terrific to see that Honda is really trying to capture its own history of selling vehicles here in America from a variety of standpoints.
Absolutely.
Bikes, cars, race cars, really cool.
It is, and one thing to keep in mind is this is not a complete collection of everything we've sold in the U.S. We're continually looking for extra things to add to the collection, and things of a significance and things of good condition. So the collection will grow, so maybe next time you visit you'll see something else.
That's great. Hey, thanks so much for your time and taking me around today.
Great, thank you.